The Hillman Minx was never meant to be a poster car, and that is exactly what makes it fascinating. It was the everyday British car that somehow carried Art Deco glamour, rally toughness, export ambition, and showroom-class politics under one modest badge. Subscribe if you love the secret history of old British cars. Coming up, we'll explore the clever tricks, strange choices, and forgotten moments that made the Minx far more interesting than it looked. The Art Deco Minx that went hunting at Brooklands. Before the Hillman Minx became remembered as a sensible British family car, there was the Aero Minx of 1933 to 1935, and it looked like it had sneaked out of a gentleman's speed trial. Its Art Deco body, sliding sunshine roof, porthole-style skylight details, and Rudge Whitworth knock-on wheels gave it a character far sharper than the ordinary Minx saloon. Underneath, it was still based on modest small car mechanicals, but the presentation was pure theatre. That mattered, because in the 1930s, style could make an affordable car feel almost exotic. Roots even pushed the Aero Minx into trials, rallies and high-speed runs at Brooklands. In 1934, the autocar recorded an Aerominx foursome coupe at 78 miles per hour. For a little Hillman, that was not just quick, it was attitude. The cheap saloon, with a gearbox too advanced for its class. The early Hillman Minx of 1932 to 1935 carried one of its cleverest tricks where nobody could see it, inside the gearbox. At first, it was a simple small saloon with a basic 3-speed transmission, the sort of thing buyers expected in a budget family car. Then, Hillman began offering a 4-speed gearbox with freewheel, and the Minx suddenly felt more grown up than its price suggested. By the mid-1930s, some accounts describe it gaining a 4-speed all-synchrome gearbox, a feature still unusual in affordable cars of the period. That made gear changes smoother, easier and less intimidating for everyday drivers. It was not flashy like chrome or coachwork, but it changed the driving experience. The Minx was quietly teaching the family car to behave like something more sophisticated. The Monte Carlo Minx that embarrassed bigger names. By 1950, the Hillman Minx Mark IV was not supposed to be a hero of the Monte Carlo Rally. It had a 1,265 cubic centimetre engine, 4 doors, and the honest personality of a post-war British saloon. But that was exactly what made its rally story so compelling. In the 1950 Monte Carlo Rally, Harper and Evan Cook brought a Minx home in 15th place behind far more glamorous names and machines. They were also noted as the first competitors to reach Monte Carlo from Glasgow, which gave the little Hillman a proper endurance car flavour. Motorsport also recorded the Minx winning its 1.5-litre class in the Concours de Confort. This was not brute speed. It was reliability, comfort, and stubborn British usefulness surviving a punishing European adventure. The pillar that vanished into the door. The Hillman Californian of 1953 to 1956 was based on the Minx Mark VI, 7 and 8, but it was dressed for a different dream entirely. Roots wanted something with more showroom glamour, especially for export markets such as the United States. So, the Californian arrived as a 2-door, 4-seat coupe with 2-tone paint and a far more stylish profile than the regular saloon. Its most memorable trick was the disappearing center pillar, which could drop with the rear side glass and create the impression of a pillarless coupe. At the back, a 3-piece wraparound rear window added even more transatlantic flavour. The benefit was not just looks. It made a small British car feel open, airy, and surprisingly fashionable. For a Minx, that was almost rebellious, the Studebaker suit on a Coventry body. When the Audax Minx arrived in 1956, it looked as though the modest British saloon had suddenly discovered America. Covering the Series 1 to Series 3 years, Up to 1960, this new body was a complete break from the older upright Minx. Roots developed the design with help from the Raymond Loewy organization, the same design world associated with the sleek Studebakers of the 1950s. The result was a Coventry-built family car with wraparound glass, cleaner flanks and a faint hint of tail-fin optimism. This was not just styling theatre. The new body also gave passengers a more modern, spacious feeling inside. To British buyers, it made the everyday saloon look fresher and more international. The Minx had not become an American car, but it had borrowed the suit. One body, three social classes. The Audax Minx was more than a single Hillman model. It became the center of one of Roots's cleverest showroom games. From the same basic family of bodies, buyers could meet the practical Hillman Minx, the slightly more refined Singer Gazelle, and the sportier Sunbeam Rapier. In some markets, related versions even carried Humber identity, turning one engineering package into several social personalities. The strange part is how much image could change without changing the bones underneath. A grille, a badge, trim, interior detail, and engine tune could move a car up or down the class ladder. For customers, it meant choice. For Roots, it meant stretching one development budget across several brands. The Minx quietly became the foundation of a whole miniature British class system, the nameplate that died as a cheaper Hunter. The final Hillman Minx of 1967 to 1970 did not end the story with a dramatic new invention. Instead, the famous name returned as the new Minx, a lower-priced version of the Roots Aero family, closely tied to the Hillman Hunter. At launch, it used a 1,496 cubic centimeter engine with a 1,725 cubic centimeter option appearing in 1968 for buyers who wanted a little more muscle. But the emotional truth was harder to ignore. After decades of changing shapes, roles, and personalities, Minx had become a trim position rather than a full identity. By 1970, it was replaced by the Hunter Deluxe, and the old name disappeared. That ending feels quietly sad, but also fitting. The Minx had done its job for Britain for nearly 4 decades, then faded into the car it helped make possible, from Brooklyn's glamour to Monte Carlo endurance. From clever gearboxes to badge-engineered showroom theatre, the Hillman Minx was never just a plain little family car. It was a quiet survivor, constantly reshaped to fit Britain, America, Japan, and a changing motoring world. Click to watch more stories about forgotten classic British cars. Like, subscribe, and tell us what you think of the Minx in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.